I relish the years that I worked with that Allman Brothers Band outfit, founding member. We didn't even know what we had when we were putting the thing together, except we knew that each player had tremendous talents, you know.
Well, one of the things that resulted with your break with the band in 2000 is that you and Gregg Allman didn't speak for a very long time. But in the background of this, I interviewed Gregg Allman not too long before he died. And I was interested to read that at least near the end that the two of you made it right between yourselves again.
Yeah. The Gregg Allman, Dickey Betts rub was blown out much out of proportion through the interviews and other people speaking about us, which things was just their view of things. Gregg and I got along probably as well and better than any other two people in the band. I mean, it was some of the drummers had a real rub with us as time went on. But I'd get mad at Gregg and he'll get mad at me. Both of us were kind of, you know, ego-crashing people, you know. I mean, we're not egomaniacs, but you're achievers, want to achieve, you know. And
sure.
That's what broke the band up, that sort of thing. And some of the guys in the band wanted to use our name to launch their business ideas.
Right.
And we didn't like that. And I'm the one that was the scapegoat, I guess you could call it, and took the blame for a lot of this stuff.
But the important thing to me, it seems, is that you and Gregg Allman, whatever the problems were, before he passed, you got it back together.
We were talking on and on even before he was obviously really sick. I mean, we knew he was getting sick years before because he had a liver transplant. You know, obviously, you know, that's very precarious, you know.
You bet.
But then when we talked, once a year, twice a year, he did an interview or something, I, you know, call him and say thanks for saying nice things about me and stuff like that. And but when he got sick, yeah, I called him about every other day, you know, because you knew he was really, really sick.
I'm looking for early influences on you. Were people like Lightning Hopkins and John Lee Hooker, were those guys any influence on you?
Yeah, individually, some more than others. Robert Johnson, Blind Willie McTell, Jimmy Rogers, the old father of country music back in the 20s and 30s.
Waiting for a Train.
Waiting for a Train, yeah, and Frankie and Johnny, and
yeah.
You know, those songs.
I have thousands of questions to ask you, but let's take a few songs and sort of tell me the history of them, or in brief what the process was. What about In Memory of Elizabeth Reed? That's an instrumental.
I had a lady that I was seeing, and she wasn't married, but she had a boyfriend. Well, it's been so many years now, I guess I can talk. Her name was Carmela, and she was a beautiful Italian girl, and she was going with an artist friend of ours, and she liked me.
And how the plot thickens.
Cloak and dagger kind of situation. So we had our secret love affair, and we would go down to I didn't have any money, and we'd go down to the graveyard there, old 1800s graveyard on the river, and
you went to the cemetery.
Yes. And it was beautiful old tombstones and oak trees and the river, up Muggy River going by there. And we would have our rendezvous there. So wow. I couldn't very well call it Carmela. So on the tombstone there it said, in memory of Elizabeth Reed, you know, mother of so, and I thought, well, how pretty. So I called the song that, in memory of Carmela.
Well, I love the story.
Well, it is kind of a neat story to tell you, Julian.
Well, it's become one of the tunes, again, most associated with the Allman Brothers.
Yeah, yeah, it was, and Dwayne blurted out of what it was all about in Rolling Stone, and oh, it's so embarrassing because it was a friend of ours, and you know, like I said, it wasn't his wife, but it was a girl, lady friend.
Somebody you knew.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Jessica, another instrumental.
Yeah, I wrote that for my daughter, and I was stuck. I couldn't write the thing. I was thinking a lot about Django Reinhardt when I wrote that, who played with two fingers. You know, his style, if you're familiar with it, has kind of a jumpy little, you know, like that with the two fingers. These were burned in a fire. So I had this idea, but it wouldn't develop. It just wouldn't go anywhere. And I had a thing back then. I would have my music in my writing room. I would tell my wife not to clean it up. Don't empty an ashtray. Don't take any beer cans out. Just leave it alone. Well, roll up paper and throw it around the room. Leave them all there. I just want the place left. So I'm just trying to figure out this thing. And little Jessica was like 2 years old, a little curtain climber, you know. She'd come crawling in the room, eating cigarette butts and, you know, picking it. I started playing to her. And it was just beautiful how it came right together. Of course, I'd been working on it for 2 weeks, but I couldn't get it. But when I saw her and just saw how innocent, that little happy that, she was just having balls, eating cigarette butts and stuff.
Well, I'm not going to get on you for letting the baby eat cigarettes butts.
Well, it wasn't dangerous, but, you know, it's funny how those kind of things can spur your creativity, you know.
I have so much I want to talk to you about, but you're talking about, you know,
No,
reaching a high level. I want you to tell me the story. First of all, tell me if it's true. As I got the story, you were with Bob Dylan, and some guy in a suit said to you words along the line, "You better take yourself to the woodshed if you're going to play with the big boys," and you cold-cocked him.
You want to bring those war stories now. I was at the presidential inauguration for Bill Clinton, and Bob, my wife, was sitting, and she and Bob Dylan were having some cookie dough ice cream. And she was turning him on to this cookie. He thought that was the greatest thing in the world. And the band couldn't play a 12-bar blues, and they kept losing the chords and everything. So I cut the song a little short and put my guitar down. And this guy said he was the senator, you know, and in a three-piece suit, and he was a real smart-mouthed guy. And I kind of just kept, you know, not paying any attention to him, but he started making fun of me in the green room. I had a big screen there. He started making fun of the way I messed the song up. And I said, you know, I've listened to you all night. He said, well, I'll just take you outside and, you know. I said, please, you're sitting down, I'm standing up, and you'll never make it to the door. There's not going to be any outside stuff. I'm sorry, but these things do happen. And he could come off the couch with his hands. And so I hit him a couple of good shots, and that was it, you know.
You decked it.
And he fell over in Bob Dylan's lap, and Bob was, you know, taking a little nap. So then I cut my hand, and I thought I'd knocked the senator out. And so here my friends took me to, one thing rushed me out of there, and the next thing to take me to the hospital. My hand was split open here somewhere. Anyway, the fellow that he was with called me and said he was no state senator. That was my, you know, I can't take the guy anywhere, it seems. He's always...
Well, he was a drug dealer, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
He wasn't a senator, he was a drug dealer.
No, he was a gopher to get drugs.